Today I'm going to show you how to create G-code in our VCarve Pro program. In other words, we're going to create a toolpath for engraving. The thing I'm going to show you today is the short sides of your dovetail box, but in reality, with different dimensions, it could be used for anything. So we're going to open up our VCarve Pro program and go to Create New File. Now we need to do the job setup. We need to tell the program how big our board is that we're going to engrave, how much space we have to work with. So for our short sides of our dovetail box, we are going to do X 12 inches, Y 8 inches. Our thickness is 5/8 of an inch. So if you don't know how to convert 5/8 of an inch, a fraction, into a decimal, you can just pull up your calculator, and it's as simple as 5 divided by 8, and that'll give us our decimal. So 0.625. So our thickness is 5/8 or 0.625. Okay, now our XY datum, where we're going to start our 0 point. For this project, we are going to be up in this top left corner. That's going to be the corner of the CNC router that is closest to the computer. We're going to use that as our 0 point. Okay, so we're just going to double check. 12 on our X, 8 on our Y. We're zeroing our Z0 off of the top of the material. Our material thickness is 0.625 or 5/8 of an inch, and our zero or home position is in that top left corner. Our units are inches. If everything is like that on yours, go ahead and push OK. Double check, make sure. If you get any of these off, it's going to engrave on your board somewhere you don't want it to. Okay, so OK. Okay, now it gives us our total dimension, or our total space that we can engrave. The most common thing students like to do is bring an image in from the internet. So if you go to Google Images, and the best types of images to bring in are like silhouettes or black and white outlines. So make sure you have that in your search terms. Let's go elk, because I'm an elk hunter. Let's go elk silhouette, and we'll see what that pulls up. Okay. Let's find something that'll work for us. You could do anything. You can do sports teams. You could do brand logos. There's lots of different things you can do. Okay, let's just say we use that one there. Now I can save it, import it. Let's do that. Let's save it. Save it in my pictures. Let's just save it to the desktop. Okay, now back to our VCarve Pro program. This little button right here, this import bitmap. I'm going to click on that, and we're going to go find our picture where we saved it. And go ahead and import it in. Now at this point, we have our image in the program, but the software doesn't recognize anything. It doesn't recognize, it's just an image overlaid. So what we need to do is called tracing. So over here on the left, under Create Vectors, we're going to go Trace Bitmap, black and white. We'll preview it, see what it looks like. It looks good. Go ahead and push Apply, and we'll close out the Trace Bitmap. Okay, so what we've done now is we've taken our image and we've traced it, and we've created vectors, and that's what we need. We need vectors, if you'll remember a vector from your math class, a vector is a line with a mathematical equation or a line with points. And like we talked about at the beginning of class, CNC router is one big graph. Okay, you can see down at the bottom of the screen down here, as we drag across our board here, it's just giving us a list of coordinates on our graph. So what we've done is now we've created lines that have points on our graph, and the software can recognize that and follow it when we create our toolpath. Okay, if we want to resize it, come over here to under Edit Objects, Move Scale, Rotate. If we want to center it, there's this alignment tool. We can center it left to right, up and down, or both. I'm going to go ahead and just center it both ways. You can use the keypad to move it around if you want. I think I'll scoot it up. And I'm going to add some letters under here and show you guys how to do that. Over here on the left, under Draw Text, I'm just going to put my name. Let's do all caps. You can adjust the size. I'll bring that down. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and use our centering tool or alignment tool. Center that left to right. Okay, once you get your image in and you've done your letters or whatever you want to do, you get everything the way you want it. The next thing we need to do is create a toolpath. So we're going to select everything. The best way to do that is just click Control A. Make sure everything's pink like that. You're going to go over here on the right under Toolpaths, and the one we're going to choose is the Quick Engraved Toolpath. So I'll click that. Now we're going to fill in all the information. We want to make sure we have a 60-degree V-bit. If it's not that, when you click it, click Select and go find it. So we want a 60-degree V-bit. Our depth's going to be 0.03. Okay, we're going to go 32nd of an inch. 0.03. We're going to do an outline, not a fill, outline. And go ahead and push Calculate. Okay, now we've created our toolpath. We have our G code telling the router where it's going to go when we go and take it and plug it into the computer over there. Now, a couple tools we can look at to help us before we take it over to the router. We have this preview tool here where we can go and click on it and actually see what it's going to look like when it cuts out, which can be helpful. Because if you get one of the settings way off and you go to preview and it doesn't look right, you can go back and fix it instead of going and actually cutting it on the machine, and then your board's ruined. Okay, so I definitely would preview it, make sure it looks okay. Another tool we have is this summary tool. It looks like a little clock. We can click on that and it'll tell us about how long it's going to take to engrave our side. So it looks like my engraving here is going to be about a minute. Okay, 105, which is totally fine. Okay, so we got everything like we want. Two ways we need to save this. First way, you're going to go up here, File. You're going to go File, Save. And you're going to go find your S drive or your H drive, whatever they call it, the one that has your name on it, and you're going to save it on there. Okay, so you'll click on that. You're going to save it. So for this project that we're doing right now, let's call this short side 1. Okay, so I'm going to do all sides of my box. So short side 1, and then I'm going to put my name on there. Okay, now the second thing you need to save. You're going to go over to the Toolpath tab. You're going to click on the toolpath that you just created. You're going to go up here to Save Toolpath. And you're going to save this on the jump drive, the USB drive. And again, I'm going to make sure I name it so I can find it later. I know what it is. Short side 1. And then I'm going to put my name on it also. Okay? Because there's a lot of students that are going to have short side 1. Put your name so that we can find it later. And I'm going to save that. It's really important that you save it in those two different spots. File save is saving the drawing and our toolpath. Going to toolpath and saving the toolpath is what we're going to take. That's the G code. That's what we're going to take out to the router and plug it into the computer and run it. Okay? Got to save both of them in those two spots. Now for your other short side, the dimensions are going to be the exact same. So you can come up here and go File, New. Make sure your dimensions are the same. And then go ahead and program. And then when you go to do your long sides, you're going to change your dimensions. Your length's going to be different. It's going to be 16. So you'll have 2 of those that you can engrave on the 2 long sides of your box. And then your lid is going to be 17 by 13. Okay. Now keep in mind with all of these, with your lid, you're going to have about a 1/2 inch all the way around where you've done your cove router bit where it won't engrave. So keep your designs in about a 1/2 inch at least, maybe, you know, an inch. And then with your sides, we're going to be cutting dovetails in on the ends, and they extend over 5/8 of an inch. So keep in mind that you don't have 5/8 of an inch here, and you don't have 5/8 of an inch here on your short and long sides. Okay, because that's going to be cut out with the dovetail. If you engrave over in there, we're going to be cutting it out anyways. So leave a little bit of space on these outside edges. Okay. Again, your short sides, 12 by 8, you have 2 of those. Your long sides, 16 by 8, 2 of those. 2 separate files you need to save as separate files. 2 separate tool paths. And then your lid is going to be 17 by 13, and that will be saved here and here, just like all those. So you could have up to 5 drawings saved and 5 toolpaths saved. Okay? Alright, and as always, if you have any questions, come get me. I'm glad to help you. Make sure you get everything just right. Thanks.